consumer. Business to consumer. So businesses sell their goods, services to consumers who are the end users and of these goods or services. S-commerce, so the social commerce, is a way for buyers and sellers to conduct e-commerce transactions on social media platform or chat apps using a chosen payment method. And we have the consumer to consumer, with the consumer sells their goods, services to other consumers. Like C2C transaction can be seen as a digital version of the classified advertising section still found in many newspapers. So the key differences, if we look only at B2B and B2C. So when it comes to the target audience, B2B, it's other businesses. B2C, we talk to end users or consumers. Who are the people involved in the decision making? B2B and B2C, it's different. Again, on B2B, it can be researchers, managers, sales representatives, brokers, while B2C, it's still end users. The purchase quantity are different as well between B2B and B2C. B2B, we will have bulk orders, B2C, small orders. The margin will be different as well. When it comes to the pricing, usually on B2B, it's dynamic. So we have changes with increase, decrease, depending on the quantity that the buyer wants. And while B2C, it's consistent. The customer service assistance. Usually in B2B, it's throughout the stages of the customer journey. And for B2C, it's usually the after-sale or pre-sales assistant, and it's usually one time. When it comes then to the product detailing, when we talk B2B, we are looking more for case studies, product video, explainer video, buying guides. B2C, it will be also product video, future discount available. And when it comes to CTAs, so call to actions, B2B is business-centric, so how the product will benefit the business on the whole, while B2C is user-centric, how the product will benefit the individual. So here are some basic, like the key differences between B2B and B2C. And when we decide to build a platform, to go online, to optimize a web store, if your web store is B2B, you don't build it exactly the same way as a B2C because of all these parameters. And when it comes to the funnel and marketing strategy, so a business needs to align its marketing strategy to the needs and decision-making process of its customer. So B2C, we have the awareness, search for information. B2B, it's the same. But then when it comes to the interest, the B2C will learn about product, while B2B, buyers look at product and reviews. B2C, when it comes to the consideration, we read review and compare product. In B2B, usually buyers share research with other stakeholders. Then the intent, on the B2B side, you learn about products, and on the B2B, buyers get product demo or samples, or it's a different process. Then when there's the evaluation, we have like the review, shopping cart, and complete checkout for B2C. And B2B, we can have a buyer review contract proposal. And when it's the time of the buy, B2C, the sales transaction is complete, and B2B, the sale transaction is complete. However, the funnel, as you can see, is different. So the strategy needs to be different at each step of the process. E-commerce platform types. So what are we talking about here? So choosing an e-commerce platform, you have different solutions out there. You can do it in a very different way. The first one is you can build your own platform. So this requires internal or external development. Okay, so build your own platform. While this is more of a method than a type of e-commerce platform, it requires you to contract someone either internally or externally to develop it. So this is less common nowadays. But if your business is very niche and has a specific set of needs and requirements that none of the commercial e-commerce platform can offer, then this might be your only solution. So it really depends on the type of business you have. Then we have the traditional platform. So with this type of platform, you purchase a license fee upfront, which you renew annually. So your IT team and team of developers will then build and customize on top of the platform and then install it either on premise or into the cloud. Then we have the open source platforms. So open source platforms are like similar to traditional platform where you follow the same development procedure. The main difference is that you don't incur an upfront cost in purchasing a license. However, you do have to pay for initial development, implementation, ongoing development, upgrades, and migration. Then we have the cloud platforms. So some traditional and open source platform today have bottled onto a hosting system and now can themselves cloud platform, and we will talk about that later on when I will present you a few platforms. And we have the SaaS platform, the e-commerce platform. There are e-commerce platforms that are provided as SaaS, are generally built on a single code base. So everyone who use an e-commerce SaaS platform experience the same technology for a fixed monthly fee that covers server use, maintenance, security, and upgrades. So these are like the different solutions that exist out there. So identifying the B2B e-commerce platform. Okay, so there are a lot of factors that overlap between B2C and B2B selling. So whether you're selling to a company or an end customer, you're going to need a strategy for building relationship with your target audience. This means investing in tools like landing page builders, email marketing that you can automate, and even social media integration. You also need to ensure that you have a visible way to process transaction and fulfill orders. This means finding a B2B platform that delivers a reliable and secure checkout, alongside things like shipping rates for your online store and inventory management. So a B2B e-commerce platform is responsible for presenting the company well and providing the required information to increase B2B sales. So it should be flexible flexible for providing a personalized and customizable shopping experience to B2B buyer. It should be scalable. So a scalable and a robust software architecture is crucial for future scalability needs, potentially. It needs to be reliable. So PCI compliance and user data protection are necessary for every B2B organization, and should be easy to use. B2B e-commerce software should allow you to optimize your offering and increase conversion easily. So what features are crucial for your business? What is your goal? You need to understand, where do you want to go? Few examples are: would you like to provide consultation and quotes? So this could mean that you need to add a booking form to your website, as well as an easy-to-use contact system. Would you like to sell on multiple channels? So this means investing in software for your e-commerce store that helps with order management across a range of systems, including social media. Do you want to provide wholesale offers? So this could mean investing in automated systems that calculate discounts for bulk purchases and calculate appropriate shipping rate. So these are a very important point that you need to think about. Why B2B e-commerce? Remember that you gain advantages over brands that do not have a wholesale e-commerce store by reducing friction in the buying process. So with order sheets and phone calls, it's not easy. It's not easy also to keep track, and while having an e-commerce platform can really reduce this friction. You can sell more to current customers. So sell more to current customers, like average orders value tend to be higher online than in person. There can be upsells on the site with a lot of different strategies that you can implement on your site. And apart from the site, you will also be able to include this type of upsell on automated emails, such as an order confirmation, on invoices, shipment notification. So this often results in incremental sales from those same buyers. You can reach new territories. With an online store, your reach becomes global. So you can now be selling in region beyond where your sales team can reach. So with the automatic search engine optimization, potential customers from around the world can be reaching you themselves without you reaching them before. It's helped you to empowering your customers buyer. So you can provide your customers with the ability to place orders any time of the day, even from their phone or tablets. So give your customers easy access to information such as order status, shipping status, payment due, etc. And all of that anytime without having to reach you. You may not realize how important this is to your customer, but this convenience alone and not having to wait around for a response from you or your sales or customer service people can be a significant competitive advantage. And then having your wholesale e-commerce platform it can give you a real-time inventory. for seasonal product, when you want to sell your remaining available to sell inventory, how likely are you to close out those products online if your buyer can see exactly what is available and can place orders only up to those level? So this can be a huge benefit for any brand that produces a higher volume than their confirmed order prior production. Here are some examples of B2B e-commerce platform solutions that are out there. So you might know some of these brands. Some of them are quite expensive, but all of them can support B2B e-commerce as well as B2C. But for B2B, sometimes, not all the offering out there can provide you with B2B e-commerce. So we have, for example, Shopify Plus, which is really the version you need if you want to go big on B2B. So with Shopify Plus, merchants can manage both B2B and B2C sales from the same platform. It includes a lot of features like an ERP and CRM integration. And the pricing range goes from like $2,000 to $40,000 per month, depending on your revenue. So it's not for every business. When it comes to big commerce, it's the same. It will offer more or less the same as Shopify Plus, and the pricing will be more or less the same. You also have a platform like Magento, OpenCart, WooCommerce, or OCommerce, who can all propose you B2B, who have modules, plugins, and every feature that a B2B commerce need. But then, if you are looking just at B2C, we see like these are like popular brands, and as you can see, Magento is here again. BigCommerce, WooCommerce. But then we can think about Wix as well, and another version of Shopify who is more focused on B2C. Let's understand now the difference between self-hosted platform and hosted platform, because the choice, it's a very strategic choice that your business must have. So self-hosted or hosted cloud-based platform. What should you choose? Like how to identify the right solution for your business. So first, let's try to understand what is a self-hosted e-commerce platform. So rather than hosting your e-commerce platform through a hosted server, self-hosted platforms are built by yourself. With self-hosting, you can create your own website, and then you purchase space through a hosting company to store your site and make it available to the public. So basically, having your own self-hosted site allows you ultimate flexibility and customization. You completely own the content and the site, and you can do whatever you want with it. Remember, this means that you are responsible for the build, the hosting, the storage of all data, and responsible for setting up your server. which can be a major cost involved in self-hosting. So the application that you download to run your website from is usually free or very little cost. But self-hosting can prove to be a difficult task if you're not sure what you're doing, basically. So you're going to need expert advice to ensure that you're doing it properly, because you can't mess up with all of that. It needs to be right, and it demands a certain expertise. The pros and the cons. So for self-hosted, you'll be running your site on your own server. So you have full control over management and maintenance. Okay, so this means that if you want to make updates to the main code of your site, you are able to do that on your end without relying on another company or web host to process your request. So you can do pretty much anything on your site if you're running it on your own machine. And this makes self-hosting an attractive option for many. But that said, running a self-hosted site does require some technical know-how. So if you don't know your way around coding and hosting, then you need to hire experts to do it for you. You take care of your own updates and maintenance, and those costs will come out of your own pocket. So the advantages of using a self-hosted platform. So the full control over the look, feel, and functionality of your site. So there's definitely more control with a self-hosted than a hosted platform can offer, basically. And this is due to the fact it's your server and framework that you're building. You have all this flexibility and control that can be a good point for your business. And you are not limited to when it comes to the customization, and you can include anything you like on your site. So you host your site on your own server or machine, so you can build and run a site on your own term. Okay. Advantages are, extra features are available at your discretion as well. If you need more features, you simply download more plugins and extension to your site. So it's very easy. And so you really have like this complete freedom when it comes to aspects of your site. And usually self-hosted platform, like if you switching platform is easier. So as the platform are usually low cost, so if you need to switch having outgrown a supplier, you can do so a lot cheaper and easier than hosted platform. But when it comes to the cons, to the disadvantages of using a self-hosted platform, so it requires technical knowledge to set up, run, and maintain. They're harder to set up than hosted platform. Hosted platform are a rapid and effortless way of getting started. While here, the self-hosted need you to go through various processes, and this includes like sourcing a hosting provider, deciding an e-commerce platform, and experiencing an installation setup process. So the server cost along with design development and upkeep can run high. And also with self-hosted, you don't have access to expert support. So you have no expert support if anything goes wrong. So if you're having trouble with your platform, you're left to try and solve the issues on your own. While with a hosted site, we will see, you can you can tap into expert knowledge who aim to have your backup and running as soon as possible. Example of self-hosted platform for e-commerce are WooCommerce, who is actually a plugin on WordPress. You have Drupal. Drupal is one of the most popular self-hosted example as well. You have OpenCart and Magento. So here are just a few examples. I know some of you are already on WordPress WooCommerce, so you are familiar with these solutions. Then we have the hosted based platform. So what is a hosted e-commerce platform? So a hosted e-commerce platform is often referred as a software as a service, a SaaS delivery model. This all-in-one solution often comprise of hosting, shopping baskets, and extensive technical support. So they offer e-commerce specific features like online payment integration, inventory management, like powerful and reliable server technology resources, expertise in compliance and security. So generally, e-commerce web hosting is ideal for individual or SMEs, businesses that have little or no e-commerce development experience. So this is important to understand that. So if you're not too keen on a self-hosted solution, you can opt for a hosted e-commerce platform in which you let your provider host your store for you. So for non-technical users, hosted solutions are perfect because things like server maintenance and software updates are taken care of by the provider. But again, that said, if you want full control over the future and functionality of your website, then a hosted solution might not be the best option. So it's all depend on your business, on the strategy, on your e-commerce strategy, on your plan, what you're planning in the future, what do you want to achieve. So remember that having a hosted solution means you won't be able release feature whenever you want, and you're often limited to the software native capabilities and add-on. So so again, the pros, advantages are, server maintenance as well as platform development are taken care of for you. Pay monthly for only what you need. Business owner will constantly be trying to keep their cost as low as possible, and hosted e-commerce allows you to do this. And of course, we don't like, nobody likes wasting money and paying for features that they won't use. So hosted e-commerce only requires you to pay for extra function and storage as and when your business expands. It's great for non-technical users who want to focus on the business itself. So there is this ease of management. Hosted e-commerce sites are very easy to manage. So their proven site layouts are incredibly user-friendly, even for the biggest tech novice. So yeah, the simple pricing structure, you can pay per month. You also have access to full premium support usually, in this pricing structure. So if you face any problems with your hosted e-commerce site, you'll have a full team of experts on hand to help you to fix the issue and resolve them quickly. What we can say as well, to set up a web store on a hosted platform is very quick and effortless. So you can literally start a shop in an hour, like to create your own shop in 1 hour, because the host will already have the framework set in place. So all you need to do is change and personalize your web store the way you would like it to be. But we have some disadvantages to hosted platforms. And as I said previously, so you have this lack of control when it comes to updates and feature. There is also like this limited customization. As the framework is already set in place, the scope for customization is somewhat reduced. So this means you're limited to how much of your own spin you can put on things. There is also this increasing price point when your site starts to gain more traffic. So hosted sites can prove to be quite expensive the more your company grows. Host platform will charge more when your site starts to gain more traffic and needs more influential features. So there is this, so remember, there is this limited working flexibility as well. And now if you decide to changing platform, it can be also very expensive. So if you go from host to host, the migration may prove to be expensive. Also, there are many options on the market. If you're forced to move platform, it can prove expensive and hit your business really in its pocket. Some example of big brands that offer some big software solution offering the hosted solution. We have BigCommerce, Squarespace, Shopify, and Wix as, for example. So you probably, pretty sure you must know Shopify. It's really like one of the most popular, and we will have an overview of it by the end of the presentation. What are the factors to consider when choosing a platform? So you need to set up a budget, okay? So this is like the base, okay? When setting your budget, be sure to consider the non-obvious costs that come with implementing a new solution. You need to go beyond the surface cost like licenses and development, and consider expenses for maintenance, consultation, setup, etc. So some of the costs are also the cost of the e-commerce platform. And this varies depending on your business size. Then we have the design and development cost. So will it be in-house or outsource, or you will outsource the work to an agency? So not the same cost, and you need to understand how you would like to do it. You have the maintenance fees. So the maintenance fees includes like marketing, integration, SEO, security management, analytics, etc. You have the transaction fees, and again, it depends on the e-commerce solution. So integration with your payment gateway or use of the platform payment partners. So traditional open source platform, it's your responsibility to look after maintenance. SaaS platform, the maintenance is taken care for a fixed monthly fee. We have the hosting cost. So again, it depends on the solution you choose. And the consultation fees. So if you are hiring one consultant for anything, it should be included into your budget. So in deciding on an e-commerce platform, a lot of people tend to underestimate the actual cost of running an e-commerce site. While the initial build and development costs are obvious, there are other costs you need to keep in mind. So you really need to understand those costs, and you need to set up a budget. And depending on your budget, this will help you as well to choose the right solution that can fit your business and your needs. So building an e-commerce business is more than just simply putting up your product listing on the web. It is far more complicated than you actually imagine, just like running a physical retail store, or production facility. You really need the same level of strategic thinking and planning that also goes into building and running your e-commerce business. So you need to keep that in mind. So you need to determine your e-commerce needs. Begin your search with a roadmap. Outline where your business is currently and where you want it to go. Okay. What are the features and experiences that your site is currently offering? Put them on paper and make sure the solution you select has comparable or better capabilities. So think about your future plans for the business. Are you planning to expand to more stores or markets? Do you intend to introduce more fulfillment options? You want a solution that will allow your business to scale and improve. So you need to list down your requirements in terms of front-end needs. So you need your site to look and function well. So front end is everything that we will see on your website, like me as a user, what I will see. So what exactly do you want customers to see and do on your website? So you need to consider navigation, search, as well as the information that you want customers to see and how they should be displayed. You should also think about the customization options that you need in an e-commerce solution. Then back office and integration. So your e-commerce site needs to work smoothly with your back office operation. So you need to list the capabilities you need the platform to have to ensure that products are ordered, selected, packed, and shipped successfully. So this is the back office. This is what your team, what you will be using internally. And also consider the program you're currently using, like, for example, an ERP, fulfillment, accounting, and see if the platforms you're evaluating can integrate with them. If not, do they offer built-in feature or alternative integration that can work for your business? Then there is the customer management side. So think about the capabilities you need to build and manage relationship with your customers. Like, for example, if you communicate with shoppers via email, then you need a solution that either has a built-in email marketing feature or an integration with your email marketing platform. Do you have a loyalty program? Make sure it works with your new e-commerce program. These are examples. Then the catalog management. So specify the catalog management features you need. How many SKUs do you have? How many variants? So this is important. and even more that you are in fashion and textile industry. We have variants. Also, if you have special catalog requirements, write them down as well. Like, do you sell bundles? Can customers personalize their merchandise? So think about all these things now and keep them in mind when you're assessing different solutions. And we have the architecture and security. So list the security and reliability standard you need in your e-commerce platform. How should the platform be built? How flexible or scalable is it? What certification and encryption should it have? Then the performance and scalability. See to it that the platform can handle the traffic and data that you have. How does each platform handle heavy volumes of traffic? And then mobile, of course, you need to specify your requirement for mobile. So aside from being responsive, which should be a given, this is the norm today, what other features should be available on your mobile site? For instance, some e-commerce merchants have a click to call or click to map buttons on their site. So these are just some examples. So website features, think about the capabilities that you want your site to have. What features are important to you? Create a spreadsheet and make a list of features and capabilities that you're looking for in an e-commerce solution. It may be worth labeling features as must-have and nice-to-have and concentrate on the must-have, but at least you know what the vision is. If you are selecting a software company, compare the features that you want with the ones that are standard and consider whether you will be requiring any add-on or customization. So when choosing an e-commerce platform, okay, we have the website features to identify the feature of your website, what you want your website to do. It's useful to think about business objective, system functionality, information requirement. So business objective, the capabilities, system functionality, type of information system capability you will need to achieve your business objectives, and information requirements. They are the element that the system must produce in order to achieve your business objectives. So when choosing an e-commerce platform, this question about self-hosted or hosted solution. Remember, sellers can choose to self-host an e-commerce website or use a hosted platform. Both are viable options. It will all depend on your business objective, on the size of your business, on the strategy you have, on your budget. There is a lot of consideration before going for one or the other. So remember, both options provide the basics: a connection to internet, a shopping cart, product pages, and a content management system, a CMS. But this is where the similarities ends. So the choice of hosted and or self-hosted will influence the future of your retail business as it grows. And it is possible to migrate between the two, but that can be sometimes an expensive challenge. So it's always better, to start with the right one from the beginning. But however, even if with time you realize it wasn't the one, it's still possible to migrate from one to the other. It will all depend on your business need. sorry. Okay, the professional website design now. So what are we talking about now? It's the design of your website. Okay, so there are some design differences between B2B and B2C websites. So while design is important in both, the B2B and B2C, like it's really important for both, but there are some subtle differences between both type of websites. Branding is one area where you see a significant difference between B2C and B2B e-commerce websites. So in many ways, B2C retailer experiment more with their branding than B2B e-commerce site. So B2B, so the homepage design is where the fundamental difference between B2B and B2C can be inferred. So B2B, the ultimate motives of B2B e-commerce platform is to attract other businesses that can in turn lead to forming a long-term alliance. So the main focus is on solving business problems. That means the homepage does not need to include ultra flashy design, but should instead look probably more informative than a B2C website. So B2C website aim to drive conversion. For that, you really need to think about the strategy and it's all about enhancing the B2B e-commerce user experience, because the aim is to drive conversions. Let's have a look just at few examples. Okay, so here we have a B2C example of a website. It's a designer called Adel Dejak, based in Kenya. This is what we see on the homepage of her website. So it's a B2C shop. And as you can see, B2C e-commerce users are more motivated by their emotion and their desire to make the buying decision. And then design is an important part of stimulating a user emotions. Here on the website, we can see, like on the homepage, nice, very like high quality pictures. Where she highlights some products, jewelry products. B2C e-commerce website stakeholders should be focusing on making their website look visually stunning in order to stand out from the competition and create a website that's in line with their brand's image and persona. So you really need to make sure to cater to your target audience, and it needs to be visually attractive. Here it's a B2B website example. As you can see here, we want also to have an attractive website. We want to have like a high quality picture. We want to have a high quality design. So here is Soko Kenya. It's another brand. It's a fashion brand. This is their B2B website. But the difference here is they try to be a lot more factual in nature, and they, on their homepage, they try to gear toward providing relevant information to their user in an organized and easily accessible manner. We can see that they straight away, when you arrive on their website, first, we visually we do understand it's not a shop, it's not a transactional website, and they talk about who they are. Who do we work, like cutting a new pattern for the fashion industry. So already it gives us like an idea on who they are. When you see the menu, you have home, factory. Okay, we understand they want to present their work, their factory, where they are based. Trust, they will tell us more about who they are. There is a lookbook and about the company. And when you scroll down on the homepage, there is this, who do we work with? And they explain, we work with fashion brands and retailers from around the world, bringing their vision of a high quality, beautiful garment to life. And so we do, they try to give us an image on who they are, what they can do, what they offer. And we still have like the nice high quality images, but they really focus on using the right words and explaining, like giving us an information. Here's another example of a B2B website, but this is a transactional platform. So this is a web store. This is where we can buy things. And we understand it's B2B quickly because here, you have to log in to see the prices and you see on the top right, sorry, trade with us, and just with that we can understand it's a B2B web store. So the layout is the first thing that strikes customers' eyes strongly before they can pay attention to your content. So B2B or B2C, it's actually very important, to have it right from the start. And today you can use website templates. This is a solution that many businesses are going for because it's just a lot easier, and the cost of it as well is it's a lot cheaper than having than designing your own website. It's cheaper and it's easier. So a few years ago, creating a web homepage required a lot of work, like the choice of color, content, menu, font, etc. Today, it's different. You can use a website template. So a website template is a pre-designed resource that shows the structure for the comprehensive layout and display feature of any website. And it is provided by various suppliers to help make web design a lot easier for designers. So any platform that you choose to get, you can use for the design a template. So a website template is also known as a web page template or page template. And remember, there are some features every business website must have on their for user experience and on the user interface. So in order to give your online business a greater chance to succeed, there are certain things you need to incorporate on your website. So some features are essentials and others are optional, okay? But the location of feature may vary also from a website to another. But here, if we look at some very important features that are pretty basic and that every business, every web store, every website should have, is in the header. We need to see the domain name, okay, and we want an easy to remember domain name. The logo, we want a clean logo that representing your business name. It's extremely important to have this clear logo. We want a call to action to call you with a phone number, for example. We want a tagline representing what your business does. So basically, when I arrive on your website as a user for the first time, I need straight away, just by seeing a picture and reading 3 words or small sentence to understand, you know, where I am, what are you selling, who you are. You need some call to action buttons, a top navigation menu, potentially breadcrumb navigation. Then when we scroll down and we go above the fold, we want images. We need to find some crucial business informations. And, you know, the main feature of your product, services, some quality content that is engaging, some internal links. And in the footer, we want, and this is best practice, we want contact information. We want potentially your business hours, if relevant. We want the social media buttons, potentially online chat features, a newsletter sign-up form, and some help to navigate from the footer on your website. So these are best practice, and these are features that you want to have on the homepage. So which e-commerce solution for your business? So building your website. So once you have a clear idea of what your objectives are, you can consider how to build your website. So whether you sell B2B or B2C, the approach to building an e-commerce website is similar, okay? So the first decision is whether to got it alone and build the site yourself, which can be possible with some hosting solution, with some hosted solution, or you can hire a web developer, and he can help you actually with both, with self-hosting option or even like hosting option if you don't have the time yourself or someone that can do. So the second decision is whether you choose to build your website using pre-built templates or instead choosing more expensive site building packages. You will also need to decide whether you will outsource your hosting with a third party, with the website software provider, or choose to host your own. So before you decide which one is right for your business, ask yourself these questions to determine the right platform. So hosted e-commerce is quick to set up and launch compared to self-hosted. Remember that. So we have like time considerations here. What features are essential to your business? Is your strategy B2B or B2C? So not exactly the same. What will be your monthly budget to run your platform? You know, you really need to determine what you can afford. So do you want to do your own SEO? Like self-hosting allows you to take a more hands-on approach to your own store. Do you need a full-time technical support? And here, hosted sites have experts on hand to help you with any issues you may have, and you know, if anything goes wrong. And how many products and product options will you have? You should consider future growth too, and the prices that are incurred with that. So these are really like the key consideration before choosing. your solution. Identify your needs. So before you begin looking for potentially a developer, think about the custom function or new design elements you'd like to add on your online store and what you're hoping to accomplish by implementing new design and custom functions. So for example, you may want to add a technical feature like upselling at checkout, a more robust product pages with more room to describe your offering, or a new way to showcase your product. And prioritize your needs. So prioritize each task based on how critical it is for the success of your business. So for example, if you're just getting the website off the ground, your effort should be on your homepage, not on your FAQ section. A professional developer can create a more impactful customized landing page to help guide shoppers on a journey that hopefully ends with a purchase. Have a clear production schedule and an understanding on how much time each project will take. And alternatively, you can prioritize your schedule based on your budget. So keep that in mind. So when you choose your e-commerce solutions. So let's have a look at some popular platform solutions. And let's start with one of the most famous, WordPress WooCommerce. Okay, so just for you to understand, you know, when it comes to the difference between WooCommerce and WordPress, you need to understand how one function as a content management system. So WordPress is a CMS, while the other works inside that content management system to provide e-commerce store functionality, so the WooCommerce. So WordPress is content management system, CMS. It has core functionality in allowing you to edit and design a website, but lacks the functionality to create a fully functional e-commerce store. But then you add the WooCommerce on your WordPress site. It's a plugin. So it operates as a piece of software inside your WordPress content management system. There is also a difference out there between WordPress.org and WordPress.com. Okay, so WordPress.org is a self-hosted, it's free platform in which you purchase and manage all aspects of your website, including your domain name, add-on, security, and code. WordPress.com hosts your website for you, offers multiple payment plans, gives you access to a domain name and a variety of default features. So the difference is like, first in the cost, WordPress.org is free, while WordPress.com, it's depending on the option you choose, it can go up to $36 per month. WordPress.org, so you need to purchase a hosting provider, while WordPress.com is offering you a hosting service, domain name, security, and backup. You can upgrade your account and create a custom domain and choose a third-party hosting provider as well. When it comes to customization with WordPress.org, you must purchase and install your own themes to customize your website. And while WordPress.com, you customize your website with any WordPress compatible theme of your choice. So if you upgrade your account, you can also use premium theme, third-party theme, or custom themes. When it comes to the integration with social networks, on .org, you must install plugins to enable all social media sharing on your website. And on WordPress.com, your website can integrate with social media network. So if you upgrade your account, sharing functionality with social media account is included. The plugins. So the .org, find and install plugins to enhance your website functionality. And on the .com, features such as sharing, stats, comments, and polls are included. And the support, when it's come to the .org, it's usually support forums. And on WordPress.com, you have the forums, but you have also the personal support that is available. If we look at the pricing, so this is the WordPress.com pricing. So this is the one that offers you a different type of solution, a hosted solution. So as you can see, they are not. They are different, and it will depend on what's on your business needs. But you have an e-commerce options for £36 per month. And what about the WooCommerce plugin features? So the WooCommerce, it's a good option if you already have a WordPress website and know you want to sell product or services. So you can really just do the ad on your existing website. So WooCommerce is a free plugin for WordPress. You have to pay for supply and manage your own hosting, depending how you do, like how your WordPress was built. Remember that it needs regular technical updates. You have to pay for additional feature, like WooCommerce event booking plugin start from $249. It's a very customizable. It adopts looks and feel of main WordPress theme. It's easy to set up different shipping rates and VAT rates for different countries. So again, depending on your strategy. It integrates with plugins to make a website multilingual, and but it's limited customer support as we are talking open source here. So if we try to see what could be the pricing if you don't go with the WordPress.com. So the costs vary greatly depending on geographic location. The hosting, more or less $25 per month, an SSL certificate, $50 a year, but it can be more. So if you do WordPress.org, WooCommerce, it's open source and it's free. The team, some start like more or less $100, but some are free and some are a lot more expensive. Then you will need a web developer, so it's $500 upwards if using a team. A web developer, web designer and web developer, $2,500 upward if custom design team. Web developer for update, more or less $100 per month, and addition of international content, from $500 per country. But this cost can really vary depending on exactly what you want to do. So it's just some estimates. Now Magento. So Magento, it's another open source solution, but again, it's also now they propose the open source, but they propose also their own hosting solution. So it's a good option if you require a more complex heavy-duty e-commerce platform to be very customizable. Here again, if you choose the open source option, you have to pay for, supply and manage your own high performance hosting. With Magento, it can be a really good platform. However, remember, you really need a competent web development agency to build and maintain it. It's really, you can do a lot with Magento, but it can be really expensive. So it's really, Magento is really for businesses that are already like making a lot of money actually, and having like a proper budget for their e-commerce. Magento needs regular technical updates, but you can update product information easily. The platform is very user-friendly. You will have to pay for additional features and extension, like if you choose some themes, customer support extension, SEO extension. There is a wide range of design template. The customer support is limited, but you can pay monthly customer support if you want, it's available. You have a lot of training courses and forums that are available to you, and it can cater for multilingual and multi-currency website. So here is a comparison of the Magento open source versus the community version. The comparison of open source community version versus the Magento Commerce. So one is free, and the other one you have to pay for, and you have to pay quite a lot, but you have a lot of features and options. So the Magento open source pricing estimate. So again, this is an estimation, but the hosting, it depends on website visitor volume and website size. The SSL certificate will be more or less $250 a year. Team more or less $100. Web developer are quite expensive for Magento if you need one. Web designer and web developer, if you really want to custom the platform, are over $10,000 at least. So yeah, Magento it can be a good platform, but it's quite expensive. So it's really focused on bigger businesses. But it's good for internationalization. And when you come to the Magento Commerce pricing estimate, so there is an annual subscription fee for $22,000, and this is whether you sell or not. Magento 2 license cost they are based on online revenue. It's a hosted solution, so you don't need hosting or SSL certificate costs. So you know what you pay in the annual subscription. You don't have like to pay in hosting and security and all the rest. So you see, this is also like some calculation that you need to do. Fees for extension for additional functionalities and integration. With Magento, you need a web designer and a web developer. You can't do things by yourself. And there are some cost addition on international content. Now, Wix e-commerce. So Wix e-commerce, what we can say about them, it's a website builder, which means it's easy to use and offers lots of technical support. So it's anyone, you don't have to be a coder, a developer, you don't have to be, none of that. It's easy, simple to use. You just choose a subscription, a package that fits your business need. It's a low cost monthly fee. It's a basic packages have very restricted functionality, so you need to remember that. So it's really not for every business, but it's simple and quick to set up and update. It's easy to use templates. There is just a little customization, which can be frustrating. Some critical features are not standards like SEO, so you have to add them on. And it's not suitable for full internationalization, as usually have one base currency and language. So also, depending on your strategy, this can be not the right solution for your business. But customer support and training are available. When it comes to the pricing, so here we have like different type of plans. When it comes to business and e-commerce plans, you have one at 22. Here the prices are in pounds, but yeah, 22. So it's like 20 maybe $27 per month for the business VIP. And yeah, so depending on which features you need, you have like a different pricing. Then Shopify. Shopify is like one of the most popular e-commerce platform. It's very popular because it's easy to use. In terms of pricing, it's reasonable. It offers quite a lot of plugins, integration, and it's really user friendly. If you use Shopify, you don't really need a developer. You don't have to know about coding to use Shopify. So this is why it's extremely popular at the moment everywhere in the world. So Shopify features, so moderate to high monthly cost, plus in some cases you have a percentage of the sale price. It's extremely simple and quick to set up. You can literally have a shop set up in a half a day. It's very easy to use templates, and you have a lot of templates to choose from. You can customize without a web developer. So you can have the help of a web developer to set up the shop, but you can maintain it and do some customization by yourself as well, because it's extremely friendly and easy. You will pay for additional functionalities, like you have some plugins, like if you want like a specific plugins for your returns, you have, for example, something called Return Magic, or if you want a plugin to extend your SEO, you have some SEO managers that are available. It's not suitable for full internationalization, as usually have one base currency and language, but this depends on your strategy as well. And there is a good customer support and training available. So the pricing, you have the basic Shopify at $29 per month, the Shopify at $79, and the advanced Shopify at $299 per month. So they will give you like just a few examples of what this give you, like for example the difference around when it comes to the payments. As you can see, depending on your plan, the transaction fee is not the percentage taken is not the same. So on the basics, they will charge you more than on the advanced Shopify. And here are some differences in the features that are offered, like for when it comes to global selling. As you can see, advanced Shopify is the one that gives you more flexibility with things, and they even include a feature where you can set individual product prices for different countries, region, which often can be important, you know, to give the right price. Let's say if you target Ghana with some of your product, and then you target the UK as well, for the same product, you don't want to sell it at the same price in Ghana and in the UK probably. So this feature will allow you to give a different price for user in the UK. So what are the best options for B2B SMEs? So again, I would like to really make it a point, like it's you know, each business is different. You are all different, so you really need there is not just one solution that will fit all of you. It's really it really depends on your business. What's your business strategy? Where do you want to go? What is your budget? What the size of your company? All of that. And so yeah, so remember, e-commerce software solution, you have the self-hosted and the hosted. So self-hosted, and they are both variable for B2B SMEs. Like the self-hosted e-commerce software is very flexible, but you need to be quite technical or hire a capable developer to help you build your store. So if you have the budget for it, and if you have like a big plan like quickly, yeah, it's probably better for your business. So self-hosting means you manage your own hosting service. Remember that, so you will have to pay for that. But then if you go hosted e-commerce software enables you to build an e-commerce store without learning to code or any technical knowledge. So this could be like a good solution for you. So the comparison, if we go hosted cloud like Shopify and Wix, and own website built on WordPress and with a WooCommerce plugin, you know, the like hosted is like renting a house, and your own website is like buying a house. So this is an image just to keep in mind. So like the upfront cost for hosted are low, but for your own website they are high. The subscription fees monthly for hosted cloud, for your own website you have none. Then the transaction charges, hosted percentage per transaction, your own website you don't have any. The setup on hosted is easy. Your own website, it's required time and expertise. The customization on hosted is limited. On your own website, it's flexible, but you need a web developer, so it's a cost as well. The payment method on hosted are limited because you will be able to use only what they provide you. On your own website, you can integrate a lot more payment methods. When it comes to security, so hosted, it's automatic. You don't have to worry about that. When it's your own website, it's manual, it requires expertise, and you need to make sure you know the security is set up properly. Then you have internationalization. Hosted, it's often limited. On own website, yes, you can. However, again, it requires a lot of expertise, and it requires a proper development. In integration, hosted, they are limited, but you still have like access to a lot of plugins and add-on that can help you with your needs. So own hosting on hosted, it's not needed. On own website, you have to manage your own hosting. And they are all mobile friendly today. Like this is the basic. So hosted or not hosted, Both needs to be mobile friendly, and with modern template, they are all mobile friendly. Okay, so we can have a few options. You can think for your business about a B2B non-transactional platform, which means a B2B website, not an e-commerce website, not a website where people will come and will buy. So this is totally fine. You know, if you are at a point in where your business can't have yet you know, this if you can't manage yet all the logistics behind an e-commerce, and or you don't have yet like the right budget, the right resources, that's fine. You know, a B2B website, just a simple website, is a good start, and it's actually very important to have it, because today, 90% of consumers are searching online before making a decision to purchase. So, you know, if you can pay their way for what they're looking for just by reading your website, it's already a lot. You know, having your B2B website, it means a 24/7 online presence. It's your online front window. So customer can access your website and see, you know, your services, your offer, find any information they need, and it's just a lot easier. It's also, you know, it's establish credibility and build trust. It's a medium to showcase your client portfolio. And remember that even if you have like a simple website, a B2B website needs a mechanism for generating leads, and content and confirms why working with the company is a good idea. So, you know, like you can propose them still like newsletters, contact form that invite inquiries or requests from your potential customers. So here, let me show you an example. So it's a B2B non-transactional platform. It's a manufacturer. It's a textile manufacturer based in Tunisia called Ustex. So when we arrive on their webpage, what they use is a video to present the factory. We have like a nice introduction on who they are, and me as a potential buyer who is looking for a textile manufacturer, I can have already like an idea, who are the people, where they are, how it works. So it's already had an impact on me. Then, as you can see on the main menu, you have factory facts, sustainability, philosophy, about, and contact. Okay, so this is you know, I arrived there, I understand this is B2B, they are manufacturers, and they give me more information about themselves, and me as a potential buyer, as a potential person who wants to work with them, it's, you know, it's giving me like it's giving them like more credibility. Then when I look at when I scroll down, and when I start like clicking on the different pages, what they did is like they tell their story, you know, get to know us, and they are talking about them. I can see a picture with the owner of the business, and it makes it already like more real. I can see there are people behind. And they are telling me as well they are working with quite a lot of brands, so it's a nice place to show with who you are working with, and yeah, then they are, why us? They are asking me why us, and they are explaining me, you know, about their capacity, their services, and it's giving me as a potential customer a lot of information. So maybe today you don't feel ready to have an e-commerce platform, but you must have a website. You must have a website where you present about your company, and you need to do it right. It needs to be clear. The user experience on the website needs to be perfect. Like it's very important visually. Your content is extremely important. Another example is a brand that we saw earlier, Soko, Kenya. You see, this is also like even if you don't sell on the website, you can still add your catalog, a lookbook, showcase your work, and this is extremely important for potential buyers. Like they can see what you've done, or what do you have to offer, and then you will offer like more description, and it's important for me before contacting you. I want to know a few things.
Joanna, sorry.
Yes.
To interrupt, we only have like around 5 minutes left.
Okay, I'm almost done.
Perfect.
2 minutes.
Just because of the survey. Remember that we wanted to share the survey. Thanks.
Of course. Yeah, I'm almost done. Sorry. So yes, the B2C. Let's have like a B2C web store. Now you can have an e-commerce. Let's say you want to focus on pushing your own brand, and you want to sell B2C actually, even if you do wholesale as well, but you want to do B2C. So you can have a B2C web store with a wholesale section. Simply like, so on the web store, we will have all the collections that you sell B2C, but then there is a wholesale section. Then we click on the wholesale section, and you can have simply just a contact form. First, you explain that you sell wholesale, and then we have a contact form so people can contact you easily. And also, if you sell on a B2B marketplace, because maybe this is a better solution to sell B2B for you, so you can link it straight to the B2B marketplace you are selling. Another option is to have a B2B web store, but with locked pricing. So we have the store, you sell your product, but you don't want to have your pricing, you don't want everyone to be able to access the pricing. And so you need, if you want to trade with us, you need to log in. And when, they just have like to create, you can ask whatever you want for them to be able to buy on your website, but at least they have to go through still a form, and you know who your customers are, and not everyone can register. So this is another option. And like things like Shopify web store, they are more designed for B2C, but they can they have like plugins that can lock your prices. So you can transform your simple Shopify web store B2C on B2B basically. So yeah, the top tips, like just to finish, is if possible, take a free trial or demo of the platform that you are considering. This will enable you to see firsthand how the product works and if you are comfortable with it. And talk to the sales team about your particular requirement, like especially if you want to link up with your CRM and other internal processes. So thank you. Let me stop sharing, and I will share with you a link to a survey. Okay, sorry. So yeah, so sorry, it took me maybe longer than expected. So now basically, so this was like just like really for you to understand that there is a lot of solution out there. However, it's up to you. Like you need to understand the needs for your business, because you all have like different businesses. You are not like at the same level. You want something else. You have different strategies. So we are here to help you, like with maybe, you know, moving on this website development, helping you with optimization. And yeah, so the next step will be, so first I would like to share in the chat a survey, a form, like a link to a survey. That will, I don't, did you get my no, sorry everyone. Okay, so here is a link to a Google form. It's a survey that you really need to fill out as soon as possible. So it will help us to understand, you know, where you are, what are your expectations, like for your platform development. And the next step on our side will be trying to help you with this setup, and with set up potentially a website or optimization of your website, with different modules around website management. So to really help you to manage the platform you're having, or you will be having, and to optimize the platform. So, and any questions?
Maybe just to clarify, we need you to complete the survey in order for you to benefit from this work, from the website development. So we'll only work with the companies that completed this form. So make sure that you copy the link. We will also share the link after the call together with the presentation and the recording of the session. And then you can take a bit of time to complete it, but would be great to have it back by the end of the week.
By the end of the week, if possible, by Friday. And so I will be able potentially as well to get in contact with you for if I need more information, and also yeah, just to make sure the next step we will really cater to your needs, and not all the needs are the same. So yeah.
Perfect. Thanks, Joanna. I think Tamara, you wanted to announce a workshop.
Yes. First of all, hello everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you, Joanna, for a very nice, interesting presentation. This is Tamara. I also work for Africa Fund team. Hello, all the participants. This is just a gentle reminder that we are having this workshop on Friday at 9:30. That is on the ITC Sustainability Map. So please do join. I've shared information through the WhatsApp group and also through the email. So just express your interest by responding to the email. We would appreciate that, so that we manage we organize the training accordingly. And then in the end, I wanted to ask everyone to kindly turn on the camera so that we can take a quick group photo as a little memory. So yes, I invite everyone, if you're able to turn on your video, and we take one nice picture together. Yes, I see the faces. I see Charisma, 1647. Okay, Judith is there. Nice. Key Textiles. Good, good, good. Okay. Fine. Any more? Any other people who would like to show the faces so that we can have a nice picture together? Yeah, I see Victoria is coming up. Then Faustina. Very nice. Nice to see everyone. Because sometimes, in the virtual trainings, it's so difficult. We only see the presenter, which is nice, but it's also so nice to see the participants. So I'm happy to see everyone online that were able to make it to the end of the training, which was very interesting. Yes, more people joining. Very nice. Okay, then I guess we shall try for the first one. I guess I say 1, 2, 3, and we go for it. I'm not sure I'm very good in this, but I'll try. I invite Judith as well, just to try from your end too.
Can't see you though, Tamari.
Yeah, I know, because of my internet connection is very stable. Apologies for that. Okay, 1, 2, 3, here we go. I've got one, very nice. Let me see the second one again, 1, 2, 3. Here we go, perfect. Thank you, everyone, this is excellent. With that, I'll be handing over the floor back to Judith in case she wants to have any closing remarks. Thank you, everyone, for joining, and a kind reminder regarding the training on Friday. Hopefully, I'll be able to see you there. Thanks.
Thank you, everyone, for
Thanks,
joining.
Tamari. Thanks, everyone, for attending today's workshop. We hope to have the forms back soon and to work on your websites in the coming months. So take care, everyone, and enjoy the rest of the day.
Yeah, and we will be sending the presentation, so you can go through the presentation again, and then maybe fill out the form. It will be probably easier. Okay. So thank you.
Thanks. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.